Welcome back to the daily discussion. So I want to kind of continue this theme I had with thinking about how we would naturally interact with our environment if we were still hunter-gatherers, and why some of the things that we have going on now align with that, but somewhat into a negative route. Now, today I want to talk about the way we eat. Now, we're told we should eat 2,000 calories a day to maintain weight, and also eat 2 to 3 or 3+ meals a day, 3 square meals plus snacks. But in reality, as a hunter-gatherer, rarely, if ever, have that kind of a schedule. And in fact, your body is actually set up to withstand famines, and you would probably only have 1 to 2 times a day where you're really feasting on something anyway. So your body can withstand that, and it's actually optimized for that, which is why a lot of people are capable of doing it, and like research and science is starting to prove that that's better for you long term, because that's how your body's naturally meant to consume food. Now, the whole thing of if you have excess weight and things like that, yeah, of course you need more calories or less movement to maintain that, which is why these bodybuilders or the people who are trying to do like bulking for weightlifting have to consume more in more quantities and many or more times in a day, because they're trying to get to a weight that's not natural for their frame. At the end of the day, your body doesn't want to have that much weight on it. It's meant to move and move fluidly, and when you start getting too much muscle, you will lose some kind of flexibility or function in some part of your body, and your body doesn't want to do that, so it kind of wants to fight it. So you have to somewhat outsmart it to a certain extent. Now, with that being said, there's this book called Willpower. I forget the authors off the top of my head, but they actually talked about this specifically when it comes to fad dieting, and they actually discussed it with Oprah Winfrey, where she used to go on these major diets and lose a bunch of weight, and then eventually each one she would do, because she would get off of it and gain more weight, and then go on another one and lose weight, and then eventually she started having a harder and harder time losing weight, and finally got to a point where she would actually gain weight on the diet. Now, that's because what they figured out was it's because your body is set up to withstand those famines, and it starts to believe that each time you go on these fad diets where you really cut calories and then jump back up, they think the diet itself is a famine. So when you consume food at that point, it outsmarts you, and your body outsmarts you and starts storing all that food as fat for fuel later on, because again, it's thinking that you're in another famine. So that's why if you're going to make these shifts, it's a better route to take to do entire lifestyle changes. That's something you're going to be able to maintain. So making small incremental changes over time to something you can sustain long term is going to be better for you in the long run, and get you back to what you naturally would be doing. So let me know if that helps at all. What you think?